Welcome to Kicking It with the Crosbys. I'm Mason Crosby, and I'm here with my brother Rees. We've been on holiday, so it's good to be back. It's good to see your face, brother. I feel like I haven't seen you in a
Yeah,
while.
I
We haven't
needed
talked
that.
a
I
lot.
needed that today.
I
I
know you
needed
did.
the pick me up. That was good. I feel like okay, first off, I feel like, the new year happens January 1st, obviously. Like I understand how calendars operate, but
Okay.
I feel like this is the first week of the new year. Like everyone's basically back to work now. Kids are going back to school, all that stuff. It's like this weird in between of you got the 25th through the 1st and then plus the little bit with, everyone closing for the holidays. I
I
think
think it
we're
always
finally in it.
depends on when Christmas and New Year's fall, right? It's like a Wednesday. I think it was good in a sense. Like the kids, but my kids it felt like they were off forever.
They were off,
I
and
mean,
you have too many of them. There's a million of them. They're running around. You can't get rid of them. They're like always there. They're like watching, judging.
they're
Here's the children.
always there.
They're just always
Uh,
around.
yeah, and then you just feel bad whenever you're just constantly putting on Christmas movies in the name of, oh, it's Christmas time. It's the holidays. We can just, as long as we're watching Christmas movies, you can watch movies for 18
Fine.
hours a
Yeah,
day.
right.
I think that's the rule. That's the rule.
Screen time goes out the window. You can do whatever you want. I'm the uncle. They can watch TV all they want. I don't care. That's fine by me.
So Reese, what did you do over the holidays? Let's kind of do a rundown of what we did over the holidays and see if we get any engagement. If you're watching and listening, and this is your first look at us, we have our logos. We have
God, we look good. We're
yes,
professional.
yeah. So it's looking good right here. But yeah, we would love to hear from you. Let's hear what your holiday stuff was. But Reese, I want to hear what your holiday was like. I feel like
Yes.
I didn't see you a lot. So
I know. Well, yeah. So one of the best things about whenever our family gets together is my dad makes Christmas cookies. Like our dad makes Christmas cookies. He's yours too.
yeah, wow.
Jim.
Flame.
When Jim makes Christmas cookies,
Can we get
and
an
they,
angsty song in the background?
where are you?
I'm
God.
so sorry.
That's also my favorite thing to do is play angsty "Where Are You, Dad" music in front of my dad and be like, "Did you ever heard this song, Dad? Probably not, because you weren't ever there."
You were never there listening and enjoying the stuff that I enjoyed.
He just
All right, so
rolls
what
his
did you
eyes.
do besides
Oh, sorry.
being an angsty, yeah, teenager?
Well, dad makes the best Christmas cookies in the world. So,
True.
that's one of my favorite holiday things is dad's Christmas cookies. And they flew from Texas to Tennessee and literally packed like a suitcase
It was a
full
full
of cookies.
suitcase.
It
Yeah.
was absolutely outrageous. So, those are my
And they
favorite, I think,
they didn't bring them out for like 2 days.
which I
Or like a day
respect,
and a
to be
half.
honest.
No, like I went down there and got them out of their bags. Like I was like, this is ridiculous.
I think I still literally hid that stash in your cabinet and I think it's still there. So don't mess with that. That's
Wow, that's a nice little
all right.
surprise.
So yeah, so
I
they brought
forgot about
I think they
those.
brought 3 or 4 different types of cookies. So dad makes this simple one where it's just like Ritz crackers, peanut butter, Ritz crackers. So it's like a Ritz cracker peanut butter sandwich and then dipped in chocolate.
Yeah, it's like
Uh
melted, like semi-sweet, like
yeah.
chocolate, like baking.
And so you just
Ridiculous.
pop those right in. Those are incredible. And then the other one he made was Swedish press cookies, which are basically what, like, almond extract sugar cookies, basically, with just like a press on it from Sweden. That's why we call them that. And then he made some like other stuff. It's super good. So again, Mason has 5 kids. So I went in and I got like a whole stash of cookies, put them in a Ziploc bag and hid them like in an upper cabinet. That way I'd have my own stash whenever the children ransacked them. But
You lead this for a little bit. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go
oh,
and find
no, you're staying right here. You're not going anywhere. Don't
only
even
I
think
think
about taking
what only
cookies.
you and I and maybe Molly know about these cookies. So and
Yeah,
now
but it's been
everyone
over like a
listening.
day or two. Molly doesn't know where they are anymore.
Yeah, she's forgotten.
She's forgotten. But anyways, yeah, did that. Went down to Florida for the New Year's. That was incredible. Everything's been good, man. I got Christmas time in Nashville. I got beach time, and then came right back to Nashville, and it's snowing. So I literally went from feet in the sand to snow in one day, and it was eventful. But
It
man,
was crazy here in Nashville
doesn't
today. So
holidays are great.
we start back. to school, and every
Right.
morning it's the same thing. And I take Nolan, and I feel like we're always kind of battling traffic on the way to school. It was eerie this morning. I don't know if it was because of the weather, because like there was no traffic. And then I went to pick him up at like 5 o'clock across in Franklin, and no traffic then. I'm like,
I don't understand.
what's happening right now? Did everyone
Yeah.
just shut down expecting like apocalypse? Like it might get ice, we might get like something. So everyone just kind of quit
Oh,
the day.
I had such a nostalgic moment over the weekend. They watching football, and the snowstorm is coming. And now it's like, oh, got a tweet from school or a text or whatever, like school's canceled. I
Oh
saw it
yeah.
on Twitter or X, and it's like, okay. On like Sunday this weekend, I couldn't see the bottom of the football score because it was scrolling across with all the schools that were canceled. And I was like, yes, that was the best. You wake up
That
at
was the
like,
best.
6 a.m. before, just waiting for your school to cross along the bottom of the list to be like, I don't have to go. School's canceled.
It was
Snow
like
day.
every
Woo!
couple years.
Yeah,
In
growing up in
Texas,
Texas, it
especially.
was like the rarest thing to ever happen. The threat of snow would cancel it, but that was still every so often.
Exactly. So I'll tell you, I like you didn't ask, but I'll say it
Well, I
anyways.
mean,
Yeah,
wow,
you're
he
not very thoughtful after the holidays,
middle
apparently.
child is forgetful. He's real bitter this year. New year, new Mason.
I
Nah.
want to be heard. I want to be heard and
I want
seen.
to talk.
I'm a
Tell me
person
this.
too.
Oh my gosh. Mason, what did you do during the holidays? The people would love to know. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Thanks a lot, bro. Um, okay, so I saw you obviously before the holidays. We spent Christmas together. You hid cookies, which I'm gonna eat later.
Shouldn't have
And
brought that up.
then,
That was a
oh
mistake.
gosh, I will
That
take
was
a
a mistake.
picture as I'm
Oh
eating a
God,
cookie
don't.
later, just to put you into a spot. So it was great. Did all the Christmas Eve stuff, and woke up like Christmas Day. Like I would have like playing in games on Christmas Day was a lot easier than being home all day
Yeah.
doing the Christmas Day stuff with the kids. I mean, they were up at 6 a.m. Like they were up earlier, but they were respectful. They came into the room at 6 a.m. Get ready for Santa stuff and all the Christmas
Oh, I mean,
deal.
says you they're respectful. I was like up there in one
Oh,
of the
were they
twin beds, and I could
bouncing
like
around?
I could like feel the bed
It
vibrating,
was
like from the
vibrating.
like running in the other room. But yeah, no, they did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we used to always go and like, sneak into each other's rooms, and
Yeah,
we just hole up and we're like, okay, it's 5:30. And then it's like it's 5:32.
yeah.
Like
What do you think
it's
we
just the
got?
countdown. But so they the whole day, and then it's presents and doing the whole thing. I swear, like we did not stop until
No.
like 10 o'clock that night, just crushing Christmas. So that was fun. Then mom and dad went home on the 26th, and then we, like crazy people, decided that it was going to be a good idea, and it was a lot of fun. Like we had a great time, but we head to Texas on the 27th, and we went to the Alamo Bowl. So this is a good segue. We need to talk about maybe some sports at some point here, but
Right.
so we go
Yeah.
to the Alamo
So,
Bowl. Colorado lays an egg really bad.
mhm.
But it was awesome. They had so many fans there. Like it was amazing. 64,000 people at
Heck
the
yeah.
game, and probably three-quarters of them were Colorado fans. But you know what the interesting thing is at Colorado right now is there's a there's a big group of just prime fans. Like
Oh
it's just
yeah.
like they are not they have no allegiance, no connection really to Colorado, but they support and they want to see what Dion's doing. So it was interesting. My Nolan was like, "Why are they not yelling? Like we have all these fans." And him and you've been to games. Him and Elizabeth are the best. They're the
Oh yeah.
best at
Oh,
live
for
games.
sure.
And Elizabeth, she was just like, we must yell louder. She's standing up on the chair, like getting crazy. So that was fun. It's like going to those with the kids is so great. And then we spent till the first with mom and dad. We were in Texas, so I got to shoot off fireworks for New Year's Eve again,
Ooh,
which
nice.
has been a minute, which
Yeah.
I really appreciated. And then we've been back, so just hanging out, and that leads us to kind of our first topic of the day in the sports world, as we're catching up, getting kind of back in the groove of things. Obviously, a big weekend of sports. Our two favorites, soccer and football, were just covered the TV
Oh
this
yeah.
weekend.
Oh yeah.
And the first one I want to talk about is that old Liverpool versus Man United game. So I kind of caught up. I was at church, came home, like watched it in replay, kind of did some fast forwarding, the whole thing. But I loved, it had snowed the day before, then it was like snowing, raining the whole game.
Mhm.
Just a nasty classic, old school type soccer match against some bitter rivals. And
Oh yeah.
I just want you to talk about, Reese, a little bit. Kind of who are your favorite players on Manchester United, and
So
why are
oh,
you such a big supporter of these like key players for Man U?
go ahead. Name who you think I would ever
All
like
right,
on
so
Man
Reese
United.
claims to be a Liverpool fan, but his
Oh my
favorite
god.
players all time are Bruno Fernandes,
What?
and then
No.
Reese also loves to wear Puma everything, just to be like his other favorite, Harry Maguire.
Oh god.
Like, it is like,
Freaking
I don't
Andrew
understand it.
Freaking
I've questioned it for a long time, but just tell the people, like, why are you such a big fan of those two
I'll
specifically?
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Bruno Fernandez is he has the most punchable face in all of the Premier League. Like that's it. Like as soon as you
I don't
see
know what
him, it
it is
just
about you.
something about him. You do. You're just like I want to punch you in the face. Like you've been punched in the face. I can tell. You can
Someone
tell
has.
he's been punched in the
He
face. Like,
wanted to against Liverpool. Like,
ugh.
it felt like he was trying to get punched in the
He's
face the
got
whole
the
game.
like bat wings and the big he's the worst. I hate him. God. But like he's one of those guys though that like he actually finally put in a good performance against Liverpool,
He
which
did
he
look good.
usually doesn't. And what I really used to like, I used to always compare it to like I love Jay Cutler. I love Tony Romo because anytime they played the Packers, they would blow it. And that was the absolute best. And it was this, it's kind of was the same with Bruno Fernandez. I was like, I despise him so much. I would buy him on FIFA and bench him and never put him in
We did that for a
ever.
whole season.
Just
We went and got
just
him,
out
and
of
then
anger.
we were trying to like trade him and sell him off for like pennies on the
I was
dollar,
trying
and
to
like
sell him
we
for like
couldn't.
$1 to like another club, and I never played him just because I hate him so much. And then yeah, Harry Maguire. So the Liverpool game finished 2-2, and it was an absolutely crazy game in the second half. It had snowed, and there was actually piles of snow on the side. The rain, it was absolutely pouring the whole time, and there's like it might have even been freezing on the field during the game. So absolutely horrible conditions. It comes down to the very end, and Harry Maguire is a defender for Manchester United, at one point the most expensive defender in the entire world.
So
And
bad.
absolute sitter right at the penalty spot and skied it. It was hilarious.
Just made your day.
It made my day. Of anyone that it could
If you
have
couldn't
been,
tell, I'm being very sarcastic
oh
about
god, yeah,
him loving those players. Like,
the
we are
worst.
obviously diehard Liverpool fans, and Man U just loves to find the players that
Yeah,
you love to hate. Like, it's
yeah.
just, I think that's what they do. They're just like, okay, do you have like a Twitter or an Instagram account of like people that dislike you? Like, you can come play for Man U.
Bring it.
I think
That's it.
that's a
Yeah,
thing. Don't look
it's
it up, but it's
100%
a
a thing.
thing.
Don't
Don't
Google
look
it.
it up.
Don't Google it. No, it was absolutely like one of those games that first half super boring, and they're that team. Liverpool is top of the table in the Premier League, top of the table in the Champions League, which is a European contest happening at the same time, and they're absolutely dominating everybody. And then United is having a horrible year. Bottom half of the table, they beat Man City, which is another big rival of theirs,
Yeah.
obviously Manchester City, Manchester United. They beat them at Man City, and then they come to Anfield, where they haven't won in 9 years, I believe. They've only scored on Liverpool twice. Like the last person that scored doesn't even play for the team anymore and hasn't for quite some time, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Like there's stats to where Mo Salah, who plays for Liverpool, has more yellow cards for taking off his shirt after he scores goals than United has even scored against
I love
Liverpool.
it.
So it's stuff like that. And then so they come out and they play a great game at Anfield. And what I love is it's stuff like that to where Liverpool players after the game and in their press conferences and on social media are like, "Don't worry, guys, we're still moving forward. It's gonna be okay. Like, heads up, like, stay with us." It's like, you tied, you still didn't
Yeah,
lose. Like,
exactly. They
and
have a
it
game
felt
in
it,
hand, which means
yeah,
they're like they played one less game than the next team, and they're
yeah,
still 6 points out in the lead.
right,
Yeah,
right.
but it's like it's a very Green Bay Packer type,
It
vibe
is,
where
and
it's like, oh gosh, like we expect better. Everyone expects like greatness and success, and like when you don't, you feel like you need to apologize to your fans and kind of like
yeah.
make sure that everyone's doing okay. We're gonna get this right. We're working hard. We're doing our thing.
Well, and that's exactly right, and that's a great point too with, if you go to the Green Bay Packers versus the Bears and what just happened, recently and in the loss there at Lambeau, and you literally look and all the Bears fans are coming out of nowhere finally, and social media and players after the game, like, it's like they made the playoffs, and it's like they're,
I warned
it was a great
against
season,
this
like,
like on my radio show last week. I'm just
yeah,
like, this is the Bears Super Bowl this week.
it
Like
is, yeah,
they have
but
nothing to play for other than who's going to be their next head coach. Like, does someone want to take this team over?
yeah,
And like the pride and like what it means to beat the Packers, especially the last game. Cause then you're like moving into the offseason. You're like, all right, we gotta win. We're gritty. We did all this stuff. It's like y'all were trash. Like Packers, like yeah, but they did the fake punt deal. They did
yeah.
the
They
like lead
they,
them over with the
uh
returner. They
They
did
did
that
that with
against
Devin
us
Hester.
with
Yeah,
Devin
they did that
Hester,
with Devin
which
Hester.
it
I
makes
remember
sense with
that.
Devin Hester, but not with anyone else. Like
Right.
I get being like scared that Devin Hester is going to take the ball to the house, but
Yeah.
like anyone else, I feel like it's like just locate the ball.
Yeah, just
It's
look up.
ridiculous. And it's
It's
a
in front of
going
you.
in. That's what I never get. It's an end over end ball. Like a punter mishits one of those probably once a season. And so it's like
So
if
are
he says we're
you
punting left,
yeah, that's
the
what you're
ball's
saying
gonna
is
go left.
so you're saying that the special teams was like, "Hey, it's a left punt," and the punter hit it to the right spot, the
Yes.
correct spot to the
But the
left.
returner
They
shows like
just
it's going the other way.
yeah.
And I get for the Gunners, maybe they're battling and it's like
Yeah.
they find the returner and they're flying, trying to get there.
Yeah,
But
I
like
get
the
that.
interior guys, you got to peek up and
You
find the
can
ball.
see it.
Yeah, you have to find the ball and then just adjust. It's like everyone kind of looked at it's like you could see some guys' heads. They're like, I think the ball's going that way, but they just didn't adjust to it, which
Yeah.
blew my mind.
So, yeah, it reminds me too, like, how the Bears reacted winning the game. It was like I think it was it your last game ever at Lambeau where you guys played the Lions, and it was like the same thing. They had a terrible year,
They knocked
and
us out of the playoffs. Yeah.
they knocked you out of the playoffs. So at
Yeah.
least there was something to celebrate a
There
little
was
bit
something
more
on the
there.
line. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just crazy to I just thought about that too. It was like a team that wasn't doing well at all at the time, the Lions, and yeah, they celebrated that last win like it was crazy.
But think about
That
this.
was
So the Bears
everything
and
to
the
me.
Packers this year have the same. I think they have the same division record.
Oh,
They
I
both
know.
went 1-5.
Isn't that crazy?
I
Oh,
know. So if you look at
oh,
that, you'd be like, but the Packers have 11 wins. So it's
yeah,
like, okay, they
yeah,
beat for the most part, other than that Bears loss, they beat every team they should have beat. And then they just couldn't beat the top three teams in the NFC, which it will be the path in the playoffs, for them to have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
this week, Packers go to Philly. Like we will talk about like their path to Super Bowl for the team and for the players. Obviously, my time there, all that. Like the hope is that they're in that building saying, like, what do we do to win this game? We don't
yeah,
need to talk about the Eagles. We don't need to. We know they have Saquon Barkley. We know that like what their weapons are. We know like all that. But it's like, what is our plan?
yeah,
That's always when we had success, when we had our great teams, when we were rolling. Like it was like I didn't care who we were playing. It was just like, how are we going to implement a plan? You trust the coaches, you trust the process, you trust the guy next to you, and you go out and execute at a high level. And I feel like, especially maybe these last 2 weeks against the Bears, for sure, this Packers team was kind of playing against who, like, it was like, who are we playing? Like, what are they doing? And they were almost trying to just like match them and play
yeah,
like, alongside this last game. It was almost like half measure for a lot of guys. Like, guys were, kind of bailing out of bounds or like doing different things. Like, it was just like trying not to get hurt try to
Right.
preserve yourself, do some different things, which ended up costing us. Christian Watson tears his ACL. Jordan gets his elbow dinged up. I think he's
Right.
fine. I think it was just like a knock and it's like a nerve thing. But I feel like it's like if you're in a game, especially in the NFL, like there just needs to be like the communication, the understanding that like we're going out there, we're putting it all on the line and we're going to win. If not,
Mhm.
maybe just don't play in the game,
Right.
but
Yeah.
and it's hard to say, guys, you're never going to go out there and not give 100%. Like, but there
That's
is this
all.
innate
Yeah.
thing inside of you though, where there is a self-preservation.
Yeah.
There is something there sometimes where you're just like, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna preserve my well-being and those things.
Well, and again, like some of the highlights of the game, obviously, were some of those that you mentioned with some injuries and punt return for touchdown. A couple thing I kind of want to hear. I mean, what was the temperature during the game? It was in the teens. Like the highest it was like 17 degrees or something ridiculous. So
Oh yeah, it was
freezing
cold.
cold, January at Lambeau. The wind is swirling. What's it like for those kickers to both kick 50-plus-yard field goals? And like, what is that like? Like, what does that ball feel like? Do you have to hit it lower? Like, those are some amazing kicks, and that's what people don't realize. It drives me nuts now. Is whenever they're like, "Oh, it was a 53-yarder, he missed it," or like, "Oh, that 58-yarder went short," and they're like, "He's terrible." It's like, how dare you? That is so far. That is so far. And thank you for Pat McAfee for doing the college game day extra point stuff and making everyone look ridiculous
He's
to show how
definitely
hard
made
it
some
is.
things a little more appreciated. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not as easy as you
No.
think.
And so what's that like for those guys to go out there and kick those field goals? One, and the pressure, sure, of course. Like long field goal always is hard, but like January, Packers, Bears, Lambeau Field, it's in the teens, it's cold. Like, what's that like? What's it
I
feel
do
like?
think, fortunately, in this game, like it looked like the wind had died down a little bit, which
Sure.
is helpful. But the field looked, pretty torn up there in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's just like sometimes that's helpful. You're just like literally, I just need to focus on sticking a good plant. It's
Yeah.
like
That's
you
good.
almost like get like really focused and locked in. Like I just need to be really true to my steps. Everything needs to be precise, and I just need to stick a good plant. Like
Yeah.
when I watched McManus, it was like you could almost tell it's like he stuck a good plant and then he hit it a little more of a line drive. You
Yeah,
could
it
tell
was a
that was
little, yeah.
probably in his mind, like edge of like where he felt comfortable. So you adjust even if you're not intentionally, it's like you just know. And it's like especially that's why experience and veterans and things like that are so critical in those positions. And sometimes it takes young guys a couple years to kind of sort it out is just because all those little things like you can't hit the ball exactly the same every time, like
Right.
especially when you play in a place like Green Bay or you play in the elements. And then I got to give Santos a shout out because obviously had a rough one, had that kick block the last time the Packers and the Bears played, which is crazy. Packers might have gotten skunked in the division,
Oh
still
yeah.
made the playoffs, and like that would have been wild. But so for him to bounce back, he has a long kick, tough conditions. It's cold. To be able to hit that just shows like his fortitude and like the ability just to kind of take one kick at a time and go through that process. So yeah, it was impressive. Anytime now, like it is a little taken for granted these long kicks.
Oh, I know.
Um, because I think it's more expected, and it got like that throughout my career. It was like when I first came in the NFL, if you were 60% on 50 plus, like you were having a pretty good year. It
Yeah.
was almost like a 50-50 proposition. Anything over 53, it was just like everyone was so excited that you made that kick and you weren't trying as many, but I made some early on, and then it was like Coach McCarthy, as you've
Yeah.
seen with the Cowboys and Brandon Aubrey. It's like
Oh my gosh.
if he feels like you have the leg and you're good to do it, like he's going to throw you out there. So I mean, Brandon Aubrey tried a 61-yarder when they were getting smoked by the Eagles, and he hits it midway up the upright, which that guy's
Oh,
like crazy impressive.
an
I
animal.
talked about that on my show on the radio show there on the Fan, and that he needs to demand top dollar.
Yeah,
He should set the market
he
because
should.
and like, don't take a bad deal from the Cowboys. Like, just
Right.
say, "Hey, here's my number. Like, pay me, or I'm gonna at least test free agency because somebody will." I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh my
ridiculous
gosh.
what
Yeah.
he has done. So
He's bombing them.
he might be the
Bombing them.
first 7 million a year kicker. Would
Ooh,
be
you
my
heard it
opinion.
here?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I
7
don't
mil a year. Oh,
seriously. I mean,
I mean,
they're
it's getting there. Like, people are getting close and getting higher,
yeah,
and,
they
like,
bumped over 6. They're at
yeah,
6, and so, I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, I would be like, "Yeah, give me 7 million." Like, and just at least see if the Cowboys will do it. If not, you test the market. I mean, he's gonna get over 6.
show me the
So,
money. It's
uh,
time. Brandon Aubrey, make him show you the
Brandon
money.
Aubrey, 7 million a year.
Do it.
You heard it here.
2025.
Kicking it with the
Manifest.
Crosbys.
Manifest.
Manifest destiny. Okay. Well, I want to talk a little bit, and we might dive back into some NFL stuff, and some of this relates to it because I want just to kind of discuss important days in NFL and like English Premier League seasons.
Yeah.
So while we were gone, didn't do a show. Boxing Day occurred in the Premier League, and that is the day after Christmas.
All the boxers come in and they have big fights, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
fight on the field
Yeah,
beforehand. And then
perfect.
I actually, honestly, like, just full disclosure, as like a younger, like, I was like, Boxing Day, like, why do they play soccer on Boxing Day?
Well,
Like, this is
I
crazy.
thought I literally thought, yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's like there's like a bunch of big fights that day, like all the
Yeah,
boxers like get together." Like, that's literally what I thought. It was like once a year at least, it's like a big boxing match is literally what I thought it
it's the
was.
most
So,
British thing ever to like name like a day. Like, this is it boxing? You just like get rid of your boxes from Christmas? Is that what it is?
yes,
Yeah.
like
So it's
that's
just basically
literally
it's recycling day.
yeah. Well, it's like
It's just
you donate stuff too. So it's like yeah, basically you just put stuff in boxes and you can donate it. Like that's it. So
it's just like exactly what it is. It's just boxes.
boxing.
Yeah.
Here's
So
your
Boxing
box.
Day is a big day in the Premier League. Like, all
Huge.
teams play. Probably a lot of big matchups. Was Everton Liverpool were they supposed to play on Boxing
No,
Day, or was that
that
the
was
week
before.
before? Yeah, that
Yeah, it
was
was
the week
before.
before.
And then
That's right.
they played Leicester City. Leicester City.
Rochester. Yeah, Rochester.
Leicester.
That's
Leicester
right.
City.
We talked about that, I believe.
Yeah, we
My
did.
brain. Oh gosh, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. But anyways, Boxing Day in relation to the NFL, what would you compare it to as far as like kind of a significant day? Um, you know, everybody's watching. It's like, a
Yeah.
holiday, if you will.
It's gotta be Thanksgiving. Like, it has to be Thanksgiving just because I don't know, like, I mean, there's Thursday games and that, stuff like that anyways all season, so a little bit different, but I don't know, like,
Everyone
everyone
sits down.
sits
It's like
down.
yeah,
It's a tradition. You watch
tradition.
football on Thursday Night Football, like, do people always watch it?
No.
No, but do a lot? Yeah, but it's like family tradition. You have turkey, yeah, and you watch football. Like,
Yeah,
that is a thing. So, it's gotta be Boxing Day in England, like, for English Premier League, has to be Thanksgiving. I
I
mean,
agree. I totally agree. And then another question, I just kind of like, it just popped in my mind, and we talked about a little bit on the radio is, do you think, and I know you're not a huge NBA watcher, but do you think, so LeBron said like Christmas Day is for NBA
ooh,
because they added a bunch of NFL games, they were having them on Netflix,
interesting.
and he was just like, Christmas Day is for the NBA. What do you think? What do you think about that? Like, is that obviously for you probably not the case? Did you
Not at all.
like seeing NFL football on Christmas Day?
I think it was nice just because almost because so as far as the football aspect of it goes, I enjoyed watching it on Christmas Day. As far as the brother of you who played all the time,
Yeah,
I don't like games on Christmas Day because you don't get to be with your families and you guys are actually humans, which a lot of people don't understand either.
thank you.
So like from the human aspect, I hate that y'all play on Christmas Day. From the fan aspect, I love that there was football on Christmas Day. So
Yeah,
like you just got to take it for whatever. And then as far as the NBA goes, I mean, I didn't even know they had NBA games on Christmas Day, but that's just me because I don't watch basketball. And then so it's one of those things like, yeah, but doesn't the NBA play like a billion games too? So like, isn't every day
82,
like?
yeah, 82 regular
Thank you.
season games.
So
And
okay,
not
82 like versus
dude, until I
17. Like
started doing the
what? You can't
radio
just claim
show,
one day. Like you
claimed it.
play all the time.
They claim LeBron James claimed it. So you don't believe what LeBron says?
Did he declare it or did he claim
he did declare it. He declared it.
Okay. Well,
it was a declaration. He said
if he
said,
declared it,
Christmas Day is for NBA. It's for the NBA.
If he declared, then I have to back off and say,
well, let's just say maybe
declaration.
Okay, he didn't say it's for the NBA. It's for, as far as sports go, Christmas Day is for the NBA. So I don't think he was saying like other stuff, but it was just like for as far as
like a
sports
political or religious
no,
statement.
it was just like it wasn't a religious statement. It was just like Christmas Day, sports wise, is for the NBA.
The reason the 25th of December is important is because basketball happened on this day.
But it is like being on the radio now, like doing more of this. Like I've never been just like a diehard NBA guy. Like I liked watching the Bucks, and like I was a Spurs fan. You know, in high school they were really good. And like it's like I enjoy watching games occasionally, but I've gotten more into it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like, learn the nuances, like but it's 82 games. I'm just like, oh my gosh, the Bucks just played 3 games. Like I missed 2 of them because like they played 3 in like 4 days. And it's like, all right, I got to catch back up. Cause like, it's just like, it's viewing fatigue in my mind sometimes with the NBA stuff. And for the, what Mitch Nellis, my co-host on the radio show, said that Christmas Day for like the casual NBA fan is kind of the start of the NBA season. So it's like, yeah, you're not halfway, I don't believe, but you're getting close. And it's like, I feel like football season's winding down. So if you're like a casual NBA fan, you're like, all right, what am I going to watch in the winter? Once the NFL ends, I'll jump into basketball.
Well, that's fair, I guess. Yeah. Like, so, I mean, again, if LeBron declared, I mean, that's it. I think that's that. I think Christmas Day belongs to the NBA. And it is.
I mean, the NFL did, I think, made hundreds of millions of dollars on the Netflix stuff. So I don't think they were upset with how it rolled out. But something that you haven't said anything about is this picture behind me.
It was literally my first thought as soon as we started. It was
just like I'm like sitting here, just like
hey. You're like slowly leaning to the side. You're like,
you not see what's going on. Yeah, so this was a Christmas.
It's like when you get a new haircut and you're just like, oh,
yeah.
This.
Look, so
did you notice?
You can see more of it. There you go.
Looks good. Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
we're having a tea party. Aaron Rodgers and I.
Aaron and you, yeah.
Which honestly, it was so funny because I played with him for so long. I'm like, the picture itself, I was like, did we actually like take that photo together? And then they just put the tea set. But no, it's all just AI, like just our faces put on some random tea party.
You just crudely pasted your face over mine.
I was watching that the other day.
It's like Talladega Nights. You just crudely pasted your faces over someone else's faces and put it up there on the wall.
I was sitting there and I'm watching it.
Who gave that to you? Like, where'd you even
that was Tommy Wirtz, my producer on the radio show. So he was very proud of it. And I opened it and I was just like, I don't get it. It's random and pretty funny. And I love it. And it's always going to be behind me now. So until I get this whole room set up and finished, this is my artwork.
It's so good. The painting was a gift, and I'm keeping it with me.
Exactly. That's what I'm keeping it.
I want Tommy's like, I want my painting back.
No,
the painting was a gift.
It's perfect.
It's called Celebration.
We should create our own like AI generated stuff.
I've actually said for a long time, I've always wanted like an oil painting of myself with like, a chest full of like medals and a cool hat. And I want to like put it above my mantle, like a fireplace, like later in life, like maybe like looking off into the middle distance, like hand in the buttons, Napoleon style.
How many fingers do you put in? Is it like 3?
I think, yeah, I don't think you put all of them in there, but I would get I'd have a little flair and I'd have the pinky.
You'd throw the pinky out.
I'd throw pinky out just for flair and, accessibility.
I could see that. Does it would
Yeah.
it have to be a wooden mantle? It'd probably have to be like a big wooden big fireplace, yeah.
Yeah, I picture like a big fireplace and like I'm in like a Prussian general's like,
Ooh,
uniform and
Prussian.
I
You don't
have
hear
yeah,
Prussian very
no.
often. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good uniforms, but I want a chest full of medals, a cool hat, and just looking into the middle distance. I've always wanted, yeah, like an oil painting. That would be epic. That's what I want.
Middle
Not of
distance.
not
Okay.
of yeah, like, not off to the side and like not high, not low. It's just middle, oh, casually just looking off, like wistfully,
Wistfully.
like you're pondering something. You're like, oh, this is
I could see
intense.
that for you.
I'm deep in thought now.
I
See,
feel
it's
I
a thing.
feel I mean, I didn't want to say anything like the whole time you were doing that because I'm like, what is he thinking?
You were just like you're waiting, like you're on
I
the
am
edge of your seat.
waiting. And like so
Mhm.
anytime anyone looks at it, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for Reese to show up and tell him what's on his mind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so my question to you is, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh wait,
What?
am I going to see you tomorrow?
I can see you tomorrow. This is what
Uh,
we're talking about.
let's hang out tomorrow.
Let's hang out. I miss you,
Yeah,
buddy.
I know. I miss you too. This is like kind of the most we're hanging out these days is just getting to talk and cut it up on, on the podcast.
Well, and we have a new game, People of the World, that on Christmas Day,
Oh yes.
Reese Crosby,
Oh man,
I think
I
I
was
should
hoping you
probably
were
be the
going to
main
talk about
host. I should probably be the main host now, actually, because of this. But Mason found a game
basically a
called
Super Bowl.
it was yeah. Mason found a game called Binho, Binho, and
Has
it
a
is
tilde over the.
thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why it's
Um,
Binho.
Binho. It's
Binho.
Brazilian. It's Brazilian. And it's basically so it's soccer, but like with like one finger basically, and you just kind of flick it. It's like foosball, but you're using your fingers. There's some
Yep.
pegs, a goal on each side, and then these like elastic walls. And I mean, it's pretty small. It's maybe the size of like a keyboard or something.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy, but the pins are in front of the goal, so you got to like bounce it off the walls or shoot straight through. It can bounce around and go in. Amazing game. We had an entire tournament. I'm
Yep.
telling you, like I almost lost to Mason's youngest child, or one of Mason's youngest kids, who's 7. She almost got me
She's
in
a
the
cheater though.
semifinals. She does cheat, but she almost got me in the semifinals. Like it was literally the entire family. Like we played the 7-year-olds all the way to the 14-year-olds, and the grandparents got involved. And it was an epic battle, which I was happy to come out victorious in the end. And
Yeah,
Binho, amazing game.
I haven't played
Check out
since.
Binho. That was a lot of fun.
You broke me. I haven't
Oh
played
no.
since. I have my love of the game has just been destroyed, and
Food
I'm
doesn't
gonna have
taste
to.
right
I'm gonna have
anymore.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find my passion again.
Yeah.
I was so dialed in before we had this tournament. I created the tournament, just confident as all get out that I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
And you were an underdog story. So for to wrap this up, talking about
Yeah.
underdog stories,
Here we go.
let's root on our Packers this week. They
Let's
are
do
going to
it.
be the underdog story coming into this playoffs. They are the 7 seed, which I think on the next episode we're going to talk about my feelings on seeding in the NFL.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'm like, it's ridiculous. But they're the 7 seed.
Spoiler alert, it's ridiculous.
They have a path that is very difficult, but it's a true underdog story. They can get this thing done, and they come out on top. And this thing, it's going to be an epic story. And it'll be like your Binho Christmas Day championship. No one expected it. No one saw it coming.
I don't know if the Super Bowl feels better than winning at Binho against the family, but I hope that they have that same feeling that I did.
Well, you deserve a ring or a jacket or I don't know, an earring.
We should do that, like an annual gift.
Pierced. I think
the
that
winner
would be
gets their
nice.
ears pierced.
I get to the second place person pierces the winner's ears.
That sounds a classic Mason rule thrown in at the end, by the way. That's a classic Mason rule.
Oh gosh, I don't make that many rules, so you'll hear this a lot. Reese will probably,
Unbelievable.
he'll start saying I make up
Because it
stuff,
happens
make
all
up
the
rules.
time.
I know, and unfortunately, yes, the cheater 7-year-old I think makes up rules as well. So my kids are following suit, unfortunately.
Yes,
but I think that's a good ending point for the show today.
let's do it.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to see you, buddy. I look forward to getting a good rhythm here after the holidays. We're going to be diving into the playoffs. A lot of playoff football talk. A lot of Champions League will start, ramping up some more after the holidays here.
There's cup games this week as well.
Our U.S. men's national team guys on Inter Milan got a trophy this week. We didn't talk about
AC Milan. You better be careful with that.
Sorry,
one.
AC. They beat Inter Milan. Gosh, see, that's why you're here. You got to.
You got to be careful. That was
AC Milan. I'm sorry, they beat Inter Milan. See, I had it mixed up in my mind. I've never been to Milan, so I don't even know where it's at.
How fast can you have your bags packed from Milan?
It's a phone.
You got it. Yes.
Just a little. Hello.
We're going to the Dolce & Gabbana show. How fast can you have your bags packed from Milan?
Oh gosh.
Saturday Night Live.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you later on this week. Have an awesome rest of your night, and
semifinals, Liverpool, Tottenham, Wednesday. Let's
coming
go.
Up. We'll discuss that on the next episode. So thanks for joining us on Kicking It with the Crosbys. Appreciate you listening. Subscribe to us. Hit us up with comments, anything you want to hear on the show, things that you're interested in, and we will see you next time. Keep kicking it.